Hey guys, I'm Alessia. I'm the person behind Reselling for Profit, and I'm excited that you're watching this video because you've either already invested in the workbook or you're interested in trying it out. So today this video is to kind of introduce you to the workbook, the features and the main pages that it has, and talk about kind of the things to do when you're getting started, and I'll probably add in some things about how to use Google Sheets. So, without further ado, we are already on the first page of the Google Sheets version of the workbook. So the workbook comes in either the Excel version or the Google Sheets version, and you can read more about that on my blog, on my website, resellingforprofit.com. But right now we're on the front page. Kind of read me first, thank you for investing, kind of uh, in this workbook. It's designed for tracking and analyzing sales and inventory as it relates to resale of fashion items. So really concentrating on tracking, analyzing, and specifically for fashion items. I haven't really explored other categories, and so this is definitely geared for the resellers on Poshmark, on Mercari, on eBay, on Vinted, and things like that. So you personally will be entering data in the sales tab, the inventory tab, and the expenses tab, while all the other tabs will be working and doing work for you, summarizing information, pivoting it, showing it in different ways that can help analyze your business and how you're doing. So, some things to keep in mind is that kind of the data that's in red is there for reference. I put in some examples, so you get to delete that and I'll show those. And be mindful that a lot of cells have formulas. So you know that a cell has a formula when you go to a cell and there's already an equation in this formula bar right here. So that's called a formula bar. Google Sheets is pretty much Excel with a couple of different differences, but I'll kind of walk you through some of the features of Google Sheets and what you'll be using. So the data that you're entering in those three tabs that I mentioned will be processed using formulas and pivot tables in the other tabs automatically. And hopefully I made it seamless and there won't be too many issues, but definitely reach out to me if you need anything. If you've purchased the workbook, I'm here to support you. I'm here. I have a finance background. I love my Excel classes in college and I use it every day, a little bit too much. So we'll get started. First, the first item on the getting started list is to enter your items in the inventory tab. So it's asked you to fill out the blue columns in the sheet. It will help to find and analyze the items in the future. So you can write down things about it, things you don't have to write out everything about the item, but things that will help kind of identify it for you. Because if you put on American Eagle jeans and you source like 20 of them a month, it'll be hard to differentiate and ship the correct ones to the person you sold it to. But really, at a minimum, if you're not going to put anything else, you want to put an item number, which has to be unique, and a cost. If you don't have a cost, you can estimate it. You can use an average. You can put zero. Really up to you and how you want to do your bookkeeping and accounting. But yeah, each item must have a unique number. You can use letters, numbers, anything. I personally use numbers and letters. So I use the way I'm doing my inventory system is that I'm using numbers 1 through 500 and reusing those clips. I have bins that are kind of numbered with a letter on it. And then I have a receipt number of when I purchased something. So I have this long-winded inventory number, which is the number of the clip, the bin it's in, and which receipt it's from. But that makes it unique. And I can talk more about that in a different video. So let's go check out the inventory tab, which is something you already have. You have inventory. And you might have it already written down, or it might be listed and you don't have any record of it anywhere. But it might be time to start recording all your inventory. It'll be helpful because then you get to see what profit you make per item. And it will be more accurate bookkeeping. I know different people have different ways of doing bookkeeping, but in order to analyze it in this workbook, you need your cost. So this is the inventory management worksheet. And yes, there's a lot of columns here. But the idea is that the more information you have, is the easier to find, but also it'll be more for you to analyze in the future and long term. So up top on the left, once there's data entered, these are formulas right here. So if you can see, This formula says 4, but in here it has a formula where it's an equation, an equal sign, and some things that might not make sense. But basically what it's doing, it's counting how many number of items are still available. And we'll get to that in a little bit. It also totals the value of inventory that hasn't sold yet, that's still available. The average age of inventory, so if you put down we actually purchased it, it's a calculation, kind of figures out that how long are you holding on to inventory. And we'll go through that later as well. Their average cost, so how much you're spending, which is simply the current inventory value divided by the current number of items in inventory. So if you want these numbers to be accurate, you have to put in as much information to make those you want information for every single item. But if you decide to kind of omit the cost, or you're like me and write down kind of the brands I got during that receipt, during my thrift trip, but it'll take me like a week or a month or 3 months to actually put in the cost when I sat down and when my receipts. This equation will tell you how many items you forgot to put the cost down.